Welcome to Specific Love. I recently saw a video on another channel called Braille Skateboarding where they were sent a PVC skateboard. This thing, it did awesome at their skate park. They let a ton of people ride it, held together, they did tons of tricks. I was so impressed, well, I had to make one. So, let me show you how. I first did a little research on board dimensions and found out they came in many sizes. I knew our board was not going to be very wide, so I decided to make it about 28 inches long. And with that solved, I started collecting parts. I needed 4 90-degree elbows, 4 45-degree elbows, 2 end caps, and 2 plugs, all in the 1-inch size. I also grabbed a 10-foot length of 1-inch pipe. I will have a little extra left over, but that is the cheapest purchase. After doing some test fitting, I cut 2 pipes at 23 1/4 inches. These will be the outer pipes. I also cut 2 more pipes at 22 1/2 inches for the insides. I then laid the 4 pipes side by side in the correct locations. On the front of the board, I added an end cap to each of the center pipes and added a 90-degree elbow to each of the outer pipes. On the back of all the pipes, I added a 45-degree elbow facing up. I then cut a 2-inch pipe to go in the outer 45-degree elbows. Onto those, I added a 90-degree elbow facing inward. I still needed to connect the outer pipes, and a 3.5-inch pipe fit well in the front and back elbows. This allowed the outer pipes to sandwich the inner pipes. This needs to be a tight fit, so sanding down the center pipes would have been my next option if they were too long. I also decided to add a couple plugs to the rear of the inner pipes to seal everything. But these plugs do not need to be pressed fully in, so they can give a little added support to the rear of the frame. The connection between the inner and outer pipes needs to be secure, so adding a metal rod through all 4 pipes at the front and rear was a solution. But first I needed to disassemble and add PVC cement to all of the joints. Make sure when reattaching that everything is fully seated and level. To add the metal rod, I chose to drill a straight hole through all 4 of the fittings on the front and rear. And since these fittings were already sandwiched together, there should not be much movement between them. I first placed the inner pipes in place and drew a straight line across all 4 fittings. I would suggest using a drill press to make a perfect hole, but I don't have one, so I carefully used a standard drill on each side. I then had to use a hammer to drive the metal rod through the holes. It was a tight fit. I then added lock nuts at both sides of the rod to keep it in place. I repeated this process for the front. Before I put on any trucks, I gave it a simple test, but I am not a pro at tricks, so go easy on the comments. It was now time for trucks. I found a cheap $3 board at Goodwill that was the same width as a PVC board, so I scavenged the trucks from it. I also had to pick up some longer machine screws and locking nuts to attach everything. I then positioned the trucks where I wanted them and marked the holes. I carefully drilled each hole and then double-checked the placement before securing it together. I then tested it in my workshop and it felt strong enough to take outside. Now keep in mind that I am in no way a pro skateboarder, so please go easy on my riding style, or lack thereof. Overall, I'm very excited about this project here. It handled very well. Other than the trucks, I'd definitely upgrade just the wheel suspension setup here. But yeah, I love this thing. It's very hardy, very sturdy. I'm sure if a professional would do a lot better tricks on it than I ever could. But I'm very impressed. Now, if you like this project, make sure you click the like button and tell us what you think about it in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future projects. Have fun building.